There. Okay, so what the words we've gone over today are watershed, aquifer, point source, non-point source, permeable rock, drainage divide. This right here is a model of a couple of these words put in together. Watershed, you're going to see build up as the water permeates through the external layer going down. An aquifer is going to be this circle right here. Okay, you assume that this might be like shale here at the bottom, which is an impermeable rock. You guys define permeable rock. This is impermeable rock. Okay, it means that water doesn't pass through. So what's going to happen is that the water is going to start building up, and it's going to fill up this aquifer right here. Okay, an aquifer is an opening within rock that kind of collects water. Okay, and in areas of the country where you're not near any water, like we are in the valley, they rely on aquifers for water. Okay, you guys will see one in San Antonio. They use the Edwards Aquifer, and you guys will see a video in a little while on the Kansas aquifer called the Ogallala Aquifer. It's the biggest aquifer in North America. Ogallala. And this is what it is right here. It's just this opening here where it collects water. And then what they do is they send a pump or a well down into the aquifer and they extract water from it. Okay. Now you might ask yourself, well, how does the aquifer fill back up once they've emptied it? With something called recharging. And recharging has to do when it rains and the water infiltrates at the top, percolates down, and then refills this aquifer again. Okay? Now the rate does happen very slow, but it does happen when there is rain. Okay? So what you guys are going to see here, we have our sand layer, we have our soil, and we have our gravel rock that's around it. And now you're going to see, I'm going to create kind of an artificial rain here and see how it goes in there and infiltrates and it fills it up. And hopefully this time I won't have to stab anything or move anything on the side. Okay, so pay very close attention. You'll see here, I'm going to create rain. And hopefully it'll go through a lot quicker than it did last time. Okay, so we have rain. Now you'll start seeing in a little bit, see how it's going through? See, it's percolating through, it's going down, and it's hitting this bottom bedrock or this shale that's not letting the water go any further. So what does it start doing? It starts building up. Okay, this is what's called your water table here. When you exceed your water table with water, that's when you get flooding. That's what we were talking about earlier, when you get flooding. So what you'll see here is that the water is slowly draining through the top and going down, and as you see, it's filling up the water table and it's also filling up this aquifer. Okay, the water's getting in, filling up that aquifer, and later on, they can be pumped for human use. Let me just speed this up a little bit. So as you see here, now the water is going through and it's actually filling it up. You can see how the water table is raising, and so is the level in the aquifer. Of course, we need more water because we're running out. But as you see, it's going right through, and this is what happens in nature, guys. It rains, the water hits the surface, and it percolates down. Of course, not this massive, but the water's going to go down through, and it's going to fill up that entire area. You see how it's draining right through, and it's filling up that aquifer. Okay? And it actually, as the water goes down, it actually, as it passes through, will get a little bit filtered. And that filtering process actually cleans the water. And the aquifer sometimes can be, or can contain clean water. And, but you know, this shows an important point. We use blue water here. This goes to show you that also any pollution that's on the surface or coming from the top can trickle all the way down into the aquifer, giving you a contaminated aquifer. And a contaminated aquifer is a big problem, because you're drilling out this water for drinking, but it's contaminated, so it needs to be treated. And this is why oil spills, fertilizer runoff, stuff like that stuff, we'll talk out throughout the rest of this week, that fertilizer and different contaminants can actually work through the soil, go down, and work its way into the aquifer, contaminating our drinking supplies. Okay? So here's a good example, guys. You see here the water table, it's about right here. So if we were to continue adding water, the water would continue to rise, it would reach, and then it would flood. The water would sit up high. Okay, it would flood completely, and that would be a flood if another torrential rainfall or something were to come. And as humans use this, this will drop in here. It'll drop down, and then the rain will come and fill it back up. It'll drop back down and fill it back up. Okay, it's a continuous cycle.